on the sixth day of World Mental Health Week, we are privileged and honored to introduce our guest speaker, Professor Anubhuti Dubey ma'am. She is presently head at Department of Psychology from Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Gorakhpur University, India. Today, she is going to enlighten us on a very relevant and important topic, that is the power of psychological immune system. So, not taking too much time now, I would like to request our honorable guest to kindly proceed today's session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank that you have invited me in this International Mental Health Day week 2023. And the topic of my presentation is the power of psychological immune system. Uh, the many of us know that we have a immune system. हमारे पास एक प्रतिरक्षा प्रणाली होती है जिसको हम जो फिजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम है जो हमारे शरीर को विभिन्न प्रकार की बाहरी जो तत्व हैं उनसे बचाए रखता है जो बैक्टीरिया है जो वायरसेस है उनसे बचाए रखने में हमारी मदद करता है at the same time in the same way we also have the psychological immune system. We have to understand that this psychological immune system or psychological immunity is very important, and it refers to an individual's ability to protect their mental and emotional well-being from the negative effects of stress and adversity and the psychological challenges. We know that in our day-to-day life, we face many kind of challenges, and uh, these kind of challenges are protected by us through our psychological immune system. So, the threat that is posed by the non-infectious diseases to the human survival, as we know, that many of these threats are there, which are possessing challenges to the health of the individual, and in the same way, we have a psychological immune system that is called the PIS, or the behavioral immune system that is BIS. And the rationale behind the existence of this system is the need to recognize and respond to the uh, uh, potential threats and challenges we are facing now. This is a kind of immune system which was first postulated by Olah, uh, and he has talked about the psychological immune system is a unified system of cognitive, motivational, and behavioral patterns that help the individual to rebound from the stress, develop in a healthy manner, and cope with problems. In this aspect, the psychological immunity, it may be described as a defense mechanism for the mind. So जिस तरीके से हमारा जो फिजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम है वो हमें विभिन्न प्रकार की बीमारियों से बचाए रखने में बचाए रखने के लिए हमारे शरीर को प्रोटेक्ट करता है, उसी तरीके से विभिन्न प्रकार के जो नेगेटिव इमोशंस, नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स हैं स्ट्रेस के, एडवर्सिटी के, और जो साइकोलॉजिकल चैलेंजेस हमारे सामने आते हैं उससे हमें बचाए रखने में, उससे उसे डिफेंस करने के लिए जिस साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम की आवश्यकता होती है. In that way, psychological immunity is as important as physical immunity when considering an individual's overall health and well-being. Both type of immunity play distinct but interconnected roles in maintaining a healthy and balanced life. So, psychological immunity is essential for maintaining good mental health. Mental health is as crucial as physical health, and the issues such as depression, anxiety, stress can have profound negative effects on one's overall well being. A strong psychological immune system can help protect against these mental health challenges. As we know that chronic stresses can weaken the physical immunity, making an individual more susceptible to diseases, illnesses. A robust psychological immune system helps individual manage physical stress effectively, reducing the impact of stress on the physical health. So in that way, psychological immune system is much more important than the physical immune system. जब कोई व्यक्ति निरंतर किसी तनावपूर्ण स्थिति में होता है, तो हम जानते हैं, शोध इस बात को इंगित करते हैं कि वो हमारे शरीर को भी कमजोर करता है और बहुत सारी बीमारियों के होने के लिए हमारे फिजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम को भी वीकेंड कमजोर करने लगता है, और व्यक्ति जो है वो वल्नरेबल हो जाता है किसी भी तरीके के बैक्टीरिया या वायरसेस की चपेट पे आने के लिए, या दूसरे तरीके की जो नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीजेस हैं उनके कंटेक्ट में भी उनसे भी ग्रसित होने में वो महती भूमिका निभाता है। जैसे बहुत सारे रिसर्चेस हम जानते हैं कि स्ट्रेस इंड्यूस्ड अल्सर्स होते हैं, आंतों में सूजन हो जाना, घाव हो जाना, वो कई बार स्ट्रेस इंड्यूस्ड भी होता है। तो उस तरीके से देखा जाए तो ये जो हमारा साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम है, वो हमें स्ट्रेस को इफेक्टिवली मैनेज करने में और स्ट्रेस का जो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट हमारी फिजिकल हेल्थ पर पड़ता है उसको भी मैनेज करने में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। उसको उसको वो उसके अगेंस्ट एक प्रोटेक्टिव वॉल बनाता है। सो द साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यूनिटी enhances an individual's resilience in the face of adversity. Resilience is not only important for coping with life challenges, but also important for physical recovery from injuries and illnesses. So ये जो resilience है, resilience means bounce back करना, किसी negative situation से वापस जो है वो लाइफ की ओर लौटना, अपने जीवन की गुणवत्ता को बढ़ाना। इस रेजिलियंस को बढ़ाने में, उसको कम करने में, इस रेजिलियंस को उत्पन्न करने में, उसको उसको वो सिचुएशंस के साथ हैंडल करने में, इवन अगर किसी को कोई फिजिकल इंजरी हो गई है, जैसे बहुत सारे अभी स्ट्रोक के केसेस आ रहे हैं, एक्सीडेंटल ट्रॉमा होता है, तो उस तरीके की सिचुएशंस में भी ये जो साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम है वो हमारी मदद करता है और वो व्यक्ति को ज्यादा रेजिलिएंट बनाता है। A strong psychological immune system contributes to a higher quality of life by promoting positive emotions, healthy relationships, and personal growth. These aspects of well being are closely tied to the overall life satisfaction. Psychological immunity can also help prevent physical health issues. Chronic stress, negative emotional stress have been linked to a variety of physical health issues, including heart diseases, obesity, and immune system dysfunctions. So, in that way, uh, our psychological immune system is whatever it is something that is very important for adapting a healthy life, and it is as important it is important during the process of recovery from physical illness and injuries, uh, uh, maintaining a positive outlook, managing pain and discomfort, and staying motivated to follow medical advices. All are psychological factors that can enhance the pace and success of physical recovery. So, this psychological immune system comprises multiple techniques by which the psyche deals with the constant inflow of information. Proper psychological immune system functions in association with life satisfaction and well-being. So, when we talk about the psychological immune system, we have to also understand the psychological antibodies. As in our physical immune system, we have the physical antibodies. In the psychological immune system, हमारे पास उसी तरीके की मनोवैज्ञानिक antibodies होती हैं. So the three components of psychological immune system have been proposed by Olah are the approach field system, monitoring, creating, executive subsystem, and self-regulating subsystem. These all systems deals with the ability to recognize one's place ecologically, to seek and activate the necessary resources to manipulate the environment, and to maintain emotional equanimity as well as sustain the functioning of the other two systems. So, the psychological antibodies used by these systems include, respectively, positive thought pattern, a sense of control, of self growth, and of coherence, self efficacy, creative self concept, goal orientation, problem solving capability, challenge orientation, and social mobilization capacity, synchronicity, impulse control, इमोशन कंट्रोल एंड इरिटेबिलिटी कंट्रोल। सो आप लोगों में से बहुत सारे लोग सोच रहे होंगे कि साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो वो हम कैसे, ये कुछ ऐसा नहीं है जो हम ले करके पैदा होते हैं। इट इज द साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम इज समथिंग दैट वी एक्वायर, जो अर्जित करते हैं। तो हम क्या चीजें करें जो हमारा साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम जो है वो मजबूत रहे। सो व्हाट वी कैन डू फॉर द प्रमोशन ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम आर फोस्टरिंग the promoting the appropriate antibodies that will help us to risk for various adverse mental health outcomes and overcome their trauma and stress and negative effects in a useful and productive way, including creating networks of support, opening up to other for help, mastering new skills, and achieving their goals for the physical and mental well-being. So, अगर इनके कॉम्पोनेंट, ये जो साइकोलॉजिकल एंटीबॉडीज है, एक बार मैं फिर से इसको दोहराती हूँ। पॉजिटिव थॉट पैटर्न मतलब हम चीजों के बारे में सकारात्मक रूप से देखते हैं। आपने एक वो फ्रेज बहुत बार सुनी होगी कि एक गिलास आधा गिलास पानी भरा हुआ है, तो हम उसको पॉजिटिवली देखेंगे तो हम कहेंगे कि गिलास में आधा पानी है, और अगर हम नेगेटिवली देखते हैं तो हम कहते हैं कि गिलास आधा खाली है। तो अगर आपका थॉट पैटर्न इन जनरल पॉजिटिव है, अ सेंस ऑफ कंट्रोल, यू हैव अ सेंस ऑफ फीलिंग ऑफ कंट्रोल, कि हमारे आसपास में बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जिनको कि हम, यहाँ पर सेंस ऑफ कंट्रोल से मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम दूसरे के ऊपर अपना नियंत्रण स्थापित करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बल्कि सेंस ऑफ कंट्रोल से मतलब ये है कि हम परसीव कर रहे हैं कि दीज आर द थिंग्स विच कैन बी डन और मैनेज्ड बाय मी, जो मेरे द्वारा की जा सकती हैं या मैं उनको मैनेज कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ। सेंस ऑफ कोहेरेंस, जहाँ की चीजों को हम एक समग्र रूप में देख सकते हैं। सेंस ऑफ सेल्फ एफिकेसी, अपनी क्षमताओं पर भरोसा करना। अपना अपना एक आत्मसम्मान, एक आत्मोन्नयन, एक जीवन में लक्ष्य निर्धारित करना, समस्याओं को, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग की कैपेसिटी को डेवलप करना, चीजों को एक बहुत बार हम एक जब चैलेंज की तरह देखते हैं तो भी हम साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यूनिटी को बिल्ड करते हैं। सो साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यूनिटी इज समथिंग दैट कैन बी बिल्ड अप बाय प्रैक्टिसिंग its skills or antibodies. Some important steps include maintaining optimism in all circumstances, seeking growth through every situation, looking for ways to manage every situation via predictable changes, increasing knowledge of necessary skills and expecting new situations with excitement and readiness. Learning to develop the right antibodies will show a strong association with mastering one's environment, developing a purpose in life, accepting oneself and autonomy. When people have a strong sense of self control, self growth, they are typically healthy in both in their mind and in their body. So, psychological immunity involves the coping mechanism, resilience, adaptive strategies that help maintain their mental health in face of difficult circumstances. Now I am going to talk about some of the aspects of psychological immunity, as I had told earlier. Pinpointedly, I am explaining everything. One important component of psychological immune system is the resilience. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back from setbacks and adversity. Psychologically immune individuals have a strong ability to adapt to difficult situations, recover from stress, and maintain a positive outlook. The second key aspect of psychological immunity is what kind of coping strategies a person is applying to overcome the stresses. So, psychological immunity involves having effective coping strategies in place to deal with stress, anxiety, and other emotional challenges. These strategies can include problem solving, seeking social support, practicing relaxation techniques, and many more. When we talk about the problem solving strategies, coping strategies, it means the individual uh, uh, is not escaping from the problem, but rather than confronting the problem and trying to resolve the problem with the appropriate support. Uh, Then an important aspect of psychological immunity is emotion regulation. People with psychological immunity are skilled in managing their emotions. So management of emotion is very important. Means the person is, if the person is emotionally intelligent, the person can recognize and regulate. Uh, uh, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence means the person can recognize and regulate their emotional responses to stressors and maintain a sense of emotional balance. If then A positive mindset, maintaining a positive outlook on life and being optimistic can contribute to psychological immunity. A positive mindset can help individual cope with stress over effectively and maintain better mental health. So your social support network is also very important, and it is very a kind of cushion for individual, and it develops it is a very essential part or ingredient of psychological immunity. Having friends, family, or a community to lean on during difficult times can significantly enhance the ability to cope with the stress. So, as we know that when we say that the human being is a social animal, so this social connection or social network, it also enhances the psychological immunity. And nowadays, when we talk about the loneliness or aloneness, it is also uh, it suggests that how much if we have a good social network, we have shoulders to lean on. We have to develop these kind of social networks, and it is a very essential part of psychological immunity. Then another important part of psychological immunity is how much you know about yourself, your social self-awareness. Self-awareness means knowing your own strength, weaknesses, and emotional triggers. In crucial emotional triggers, all these three components are very crucial for psychological immunity. So, as an individual, we have to identify, observe ourselves, and understand what is my strength, what is my weakness, and as well as what are the triggers, emotional cues that trigger the negative emotions in my life. And if you are able to identify these things, then you will be able to enhance your psychological immunity. Self-awareness allow individual to make informed decisions and develop personalized strategies for dealing with challenges. Another important antibody for psychological immunity is being able to adapt to changing circumstances and learn from experiences. It is also a key component of psychological immunity. So these are the two things. Means that if the individual is a little flexible, the individual is ready to adapt to newer situations, new challenges, new circumstances, and also developed the capability to learn from the experiences. This is a very important component of psychological immunity. Flexible thinking and problem solving skills can help individual navigate a variety of situations. uh, if the individual develop these kind of uh, uh, things, components in his or her life, then the person will be able to manage the effectively manage the stress. And stress, in another way, we can say that stress management is also a central component of psychological immunity. This includes recognizing when stress is becoming overwhelming and taking steps to reduce it, such as reduce it through relaxation techniques, exercise, and mindful practices. So, in one way or other, stress is a litmus test for challenging situations are test for your psychological immunity. जब तक जिंदगी में कोई तनावपूर्ण स्थितियां नहीं आएंगी या चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशंस नहीं आएंगी, आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आप साइकोलॉजिकली इम्यून हैं अथवा नहीं है. तो जिस तरीके से फिजिकल इम्यूनिटी का चेक या टेस्ट तब होता है जब हमारे आसपास में बैक्टीरिया वायरसेस आते हैं जो हमारे इम्यून सिस्टम को उस दीवार को भेदने की कोशिश करते हैं. So in one way or other, this stress is an important aspect to check the strength of your psychological immunity. So if you want to foster the psychological immunity, if you want to develop or to build the psychological immunity, then very important is that you have to take care of your physical and mental well-being through proper nutrition, exercise, sleep, and relaxation. So many of you can question that the proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper relaxation, and exercise is also important for physical immune system. Yeah, the as I told you earlier that the physical immune system, psychological immune system is as important or sometimes much more important than your physical immune system. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है कि जिस तरीके से आप अपने शरीर को की प्रतिरक्षा प्रणाली को मजबूत रखने के लिए प्रॉपर भोजन लेते हैं, एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, सही समय पे सोना, सही समय पे उठना और रिलैक्स करना, शरीर को रिलैक्स करना जरूरी है. उसी तरीके से अपने मनोवैज्ञानिक जो प्रतिरक्षा प्रणाली है उसको भी मजबूत रखने के लिए पोषक तत्वों को लेना, व्यायाम करना, सोना और रिलैक्सेशन, माइंडफुल प्रैक्टिसेस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. So it's important to note that psychological immunity is not as an absolute state, but rather a dynamic quality that can be developed and strengthened over time. So ये कुछ ऐसा नहीं है जो एक कोई एब्सोल्यूट चीज है. हम इसको ये हमारे हाथ में है कि हम इसको किस तरीके से डेवलप करते हैं. The concept of psychological immunity holds significant importance in the context of individual mental and emotional well-being as well as societal resilience. Here are some key aspects of its power and need. Psychological immunity is crucial for maintaining good mental health. It allows individual to effectively cope with stress and reduces the mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorders, etc. Uh, so, uh, uh, In times of crisis, such as natural disasters, pandemics, and the personal tragedies, psychological immunity can help individuals and communities better respond and recover. Its support adaptive coping strategies and minimizing the long-term psychological impact of these kind of events. Psychological immunity are often better equipped to handle conflicts and maintain healthier relationships as well. They can regulate emotions and communicate. Those with better psychological immunity can regulate their emotions and communicate effectively. It reduces the likelihood of emotional outbursts or strained relationship at the workplace. It enhances the workplace productivity. In one of my own researches with the medical professionals, I have found that those medical professionals who have better psychological immune system and they have the better ability to self-regulate, they were the good and those they were the good doctors. They were able to handle the strenuous medical situations and the emerging, especially those medical professionals who were working with the at the emergency services. They have the positive mindset to manage the stress in the emergency blocks of their hospitals, and they were ready to adapt to the changes and maintained a positive mindset and are more productive, and they were able to help their patients in the traumatic situations. The prevention of different kind of mental health issues is also important aspect where the psychological immune system is working may work. Building psychological immunity can help prevent the development of different kind of mental health issues in the first place. It acts as a protective factor against conditions like anxiety and depression, which have become very common these days. Yeah, as I told you that enhanced psychological immunity can lead to lower healthcare costs as it reduces the need for medical interventions related to stress-related illnesses and mental health disorders. Psychological immune system is as important or much more important than the physical immune system. At the societal level, psychological immunity is important for building resilient communities. When individuals within a community have strong psychological immunity, they can support each other during the challenging times, reducing the overall impact of collective stressors, which we can see, which we have seen during the times of pandemics, during the times of wars, during the times of any kind of natural disasters or calamities or technological catastrophes. Those communities which were the which are the resilient communities and where the many of the people have good better psychological immune system. The communities have come up with a in a more stronger way, and they have faced the challenges of the community level challenges or the collective stressors in a more efficient manner. Uh, at the personal level, psychological immunity empowers individuals to reach their full potential by helping them overcome self doubt, fear, negative thought patterns. They can lead to they can lead to the personal growth and self actualization. Not only this, the good psychological immune system uh, prepare the individual for the uncertainty. As we know that we are living in a world where which is in many ways unpredictable. So in an unpredictable world, psychological immunity equip individuals with mental and emotional tools to navigate uncertainty and ambiguity effectively. The need for psychological immunity is evident and in the face of numerous stressors and challenges individual encounter in their daily lives. It is an essential component of holistic well-being and can significantly improve one's quality of life. As a result, there is a growing emphasis on promoting psychological well-being through education, mental health services, and development of coping skills and resilience building programs. So now the question is that if the psychological immunity is not something that we born with, it is something that we can foster, that we can acquire, that we can develop, that we can learn. So, what are the things which we can do, a person can do to enhance his or her psychological immunity? So, अभी तक हमने जितनी बातें की हैं उसमें शायद आपको समझ में आ गया होगा कि ऑप्टिमिज्म यानी आशावादिता, उम्मीद, समस्याओं से निपटने के तरीके, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स, रेजिलियंट होना, हार्डी होना, इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट होना, ये सारी चीजें हैं. दीज आर द कंपोनेंट्स which are important for psychological to develop psychological immunity, और ये सारा कुछ किया जा सकता है. Enhancing psychological immunity involves developing mental and emotional resilience, coping strategies, and well-being practices to better navigate life challenges. So now I'm going to present some of the ways to strengthen how you can strengthen your psychological immunity. So one of the easiest and important thing is mindfulness and meditation. Practice of mindfulness and meditation techniques to stay present and reduce stress. Mindfulness can help individual to become more aware of your emotions through emotions and thought patterns. So mindfulness की techniques का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. आप meditation कर सकते हैं जिससे कि you will become more self aware. You will be able to identify your strength and weaknesses as I told you earlier. और आप जब अपनी स्ट्रेंथ पर फोकस करेंगे तो आप बेहतर ढंग से अपने आसपास के एनवायरनमेंट को भी समझ पाएंगे और अपने आप पर जब when you focus on your present, तो आप अभी पर जब फोकस करेंगे तो आप अपनी साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यूनिटी को भी बेहतर कर पाएंगे. Some of the techniques can be used through the help of the psychological counselors as well. One of these is the cognitive behavioral technique. Considering the therapeutic interventions, including cognitive behavioral interventions, it will identify the individual can. आप किसी साइकोलॉजिकल काउंसलर के पास जा सकते हैं टू आइडेंटिफाई एंड चैलेंज अनहेल्पफुल थॉट पैटर्न्स एंड बिहेवियर्स, जो आपके इरेशनल थॉट्स और बिहेवियर्स हैं, उसको जब आप चैलेंज करेंगे तो इट विल हेल्प टू डेवलप a healthier way to think and cope with the stressors or challenges of the life. So अगर अपने से नहीं हो पा रहा है तो you can go to a psychological counselor as well. Self awareness, get to know yourself better, understanding your strengths, weaknesses, emotional triggers, as I told you earlier. So emotion regulation, positive thinking, social support network को strengthen करना, healthy lifestyle, stress management, सेल्फ कंपैशन, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पार्ट है सेल्फ साइकोलॉजिकल इम्यूनिटी का, कि आपको अपने प्रति भी करुणा होनी चाहिए. सेल्फ कंपैशन, बी काइंड टू योर सेल्फ. Many times individual become very critical to himself or herself, and that is also very it leads to the negative direction. So self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you had offer a friend, even a family member, or someone else, even when facing difficulties. So अगर आप अपनी लाइफ में कहीं कोई चैलेंजेस या डिफिकल्टीज फेस कर रहे हैं तो आप अपने आप के प्रति भी उसी प्रकार से करुणा रखें जिस प्रकार से आप दूसरों को किसी चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशन में देख करके करुणापूर्ण होते हैं. So self compassion is also very important to develop or enhance your psychological immunity. Then you can set the realistic expectations from yourself. It will also enhance your psychological immunity. Avoid setting excessively high standards for yourself. Many a times we do that, and it challenges the psychological immune system. Unrealistic expectations can lead to stress and disappointment. So you focus on your progress, not your perfection. So when you set realistic expectations from yourself, it will enhance your psychological immunity. As I told you earlier, mental flexibility or adaptability is very important. You try to develop flexible thinking and adaptability. Uh, there are many kind of unpredictable and uncertain situations in the life. So you have to be open to new perspectives and new approaches, and that can help you to navigate the challenges. Set the healthy boundaries in your personal and professional life. Clear boundaries can reduce stress and improve your relationships. So resilience building exercises that can also be done to enhance your psychological immune system. Engage in resilience building exercises such as creating a resilient narrative to reflect a past challenge and how you have overcome them. मैं आपको अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस के साथ इस बात को शेयर करना चाहूंगी. वंस मुझे एक बार बहुत मैं बीमार पड़ गई थी और काफी ज्यादा 15-20 दिनों के लिए हॉस्पिटलाइज होना पड़ा. सो जब ईयर एंड हुआ, न्यू ईयर आया, तो आई टोल्ड माय हस्बैंड दैट दिस ईयर वाज नॉट अ गुड ईयर फॉर अस, एंड ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा साल नहीं था, और चलिए ये साल चला गया और नया साल जो है आया है, वो नया साल हमारे लिए it will come with the health and happiness to us. So my husband told me कि जिस तरीके से तुम बीमार पड़ी थी, और मतलब it was a life and death situation at one point of time. So his point of view was कि जिस तरीके से तुम बीमार पड़ी थी और जिस तरीके से हमने इस सिचुएशन से हैंडल किया, और वी हैव कम बैक फ्रॉम द सिचुएशन, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये साल इस मायने में अच्छा था कि हम इस सिचुएशन को हैंडल कर पाए और हम उससे वापस निकल पाए. सो दिस इज व्हाट द रेजिलिएंट नैरेटिव. आप किसी सिचुएशन को, किसी पास्ट चैलेंज को, किसी पास्ट नेगेटिव सिचुएशन को किस तरीके से देखते हैं, दैट इज और रेजिलिएंट नैरेटिव. कि उन्होंने उस सिचुएशन में हमने कैसे बाउंस बैक किया। सो एट दैट डे आई लर्न कि बीइंग अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट, जिस सिचुएशन को मैं एक दूसरे पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रही थी, एंड ही उन्होंने मुझे सिखाया कि हाउ टू बी रेजिलिएंट, एंड हाउ टू इट इज वन ऑफ द रेजिलिएंट नैरेटिव फॉर द सिचुएशन। आप ये भी कर सकते हैं कि यू कैन ज्वाइन some support groups or communities of individuals who share similar challenges. Connecting to other people who have gone through similar experiences can be both empowering and comforting sometimes. So, continue learning and growing. Expanding your knowledge and skills can boost your self-esteem and help you adapt to challenging situations. So, एक important चीज ये भी है कि बहुत बार ऐसा लगता है हमें कि हमको जितना सीखना था, जितना जानना था, उतना हम सीख जान चुके हैं, अब मुझे और कुछ जानने की जरूरत नहीं है। लेकिन जब जितना ही आप नई चीजों को, नए पर्सपेक्टिव को, नए मुद्दों को देखने, जानने, सोचने की कोशिश करेंगे, आप अपनी लाइफ में उतना ही चीजों को समझ पाएंगे। सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी विद पीपल हु आर लाइक यू, और आप ऐसे लोगों के साथ रहें जिनके पास जिनके आसपास में, जिन्होंने बहुत चैलेंजेस को फेस किया है, जो लाइफ को के नजरिए, डिफरेंट नजरिए के साथ रहते हैं, एंड दैट एक्सपीरियंसेस विल नॉट ओनली कंफर्ट विल कंफर्ट यू, बट वो आपको कुछ देंगे और आपको एम्पावर भी करेंगे। सो कंटिन्यू लर्निंग एंड ग्रोइंग। So overall, I would like to say that enhancing psychological immunity is an ongoing process, and it lies entirely on your hand. Building psychological immunity can lead to improved well-being, better coping skills, and a fulfilling life. So आपको मैं इस बात को के लिए धन्यवाद दूंगी कि आपने मुझे you have listened to me patiently, और I wish everyone better and good psychological immune system. एंड जिस तरीके से हम अपने फिजिकल इम्यून सिस्टम के लिए, अपने शरीर की प्रतिरोधक प्रणाली के लिए काम करते हैं, उसी तरीके से हमें अपने मन के प्रतिरोधक प्रणाली के लिए भी काम करने की जरूरत है। और ये जितना बेहतर होगा, हमारा मानसिक स्वास्थ्य उतना ही बेहतर होगा। और लेट्स प्लेज इन दिस मेंटल हेल्थ वीक दैट वी विल वर्क on our psychological immune system. Thank you so much, everyone.
One question is from my side, that through this session, through this conference, what will be your advice to the new aspirants of psychology or the students of psychology as per the present situation? So, what will be your advice to them?
Regarding stress,
regarding overall in their academics also, in their future plans also, so holistic
okay,
way.
okay. देखिए, for the holistic well-being, one of the important thing is how you, whatever the things I have already told, that adaptability, resilience, a positive outlook about in general, a positive outlook, that is very important. And believe in yourself. One of the important thing is that, as I told, that the individual have to इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, सेल्फ ऑब्जर्वेशन, सेल्फ कंपैशन भी बहुत जरूरी है। बहुत बार वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ डाउट्स फॉर आवरसेल्फ, वी बिकम वेरी क्रिटिकल टू आवरसेल्फ। क्रिटिसिज्म होना चाहिए, बट वो क्रिटिसिज्म के साथ साथ एट द सेम टाइम वी हैव टू बी सेल्फ कंपैशनेट एज वेल। जिसे कहते हैं ना, दूसरे के प्रति दया की जगह अपने ऊपर भी थोड़ी दया करो। सो मेनी अ टाइम्स वी वर्क 24/7, और हम भूल जाते हैं कि हमें भी एक कहीं पर ब्रेक लेने की जरूरत है। सो मैं सभी से यही कहूंगी, ऑल द साइकोलॉजी एस्पिरेंट, these are the things not only important for psychology aspirants, but these are the things which are important for life in general as well. You have to be you have to develop, enhance your self esteem, set your realistic goals, see the situation in always in a holistic manner. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम चीजों को उनके बैकग्राउंड, उनके पर्सपेक्टिव के साथ ना देख करके इंडिविजुअल लेवल पर मतलब उसको एक डिस्टिंक्ट तरीके से देखने की कोशिश करते हैं। हमेशा चीजें अपनी पृष्ठभूमि के साथ होती हैं, और आपको उस पृष्ठभूमि को समझना बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। आप इंडिविजुअल लेवल पर अगर हम देखने की कोशिश करें तो आप जितना ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रहेंगे, जैसे मैंने अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ का उदाहरण दिया, हर चीज को देखने के दो नजरिए हो सकते हैं। आप कौन सा वाला नजरिया अडॉप्ट करते हैं, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर एवरी सिचुएशन, एज अ स्टूडेंट, एज अ academician, एज अ एम्प्लॉयर, एज अ एम्प्लॉय, एवरीवेयर इट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट। सो अपने ऊपर बिलीव करेंगे, आप अपनी अपनी स्ट्रेंथ पर, अपनी वीकनेसेस पर, अपने स्किल्स पर, अपने पोटेंशियल्स पर काम करेंगे तो आपको सक्सेस होने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता है, एंड यू विल बिकम ए हैप्पी एंड हेल्दी इंडिविजुअल एज वेल।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a important piece of advice to the students and in general too. Question related to this is we talk about psycho immunity, psychological immunity, and it is very important also. And ma'am, when we talk about the mental health professionals, especially people or the psychologists who are in the clinical background, either they are providing therapy or either they are providing counseling, especially to the clients or the patients. So, in your opinion, what is the importance of psychoimmunity in the clinical perspective, and how mental health professionals should try to adopt the importance of psychoimmunity in their therapeutic aspect?
देखिए, whatever I have talked about in any of the therapeutic interventions, when it is a clinical situation, any of the therapeutic intervention, say for example the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, the entire focus of the therapist is on replacing the irrational beliefs and irrational thoughts to the rational one. The entire focus of CBT is only on this. Okay. So what the therapist is doing, basically the therapist, if the person is not very critical to himself or herself, and the therapist is perceiving that this is an irrational thought, and the person is setting the unrealistic goal beyond her own potential, setting the unrealistic goal for himself or herself, and because of those unrealistic expectations from himself, the person is going through this kind of anxiety, depression, or whatever the diagnosis is. So basically what the therapist is doing, the replacing or substituting the irrational expectations from the to the rational one. So ultimately whatever the in any of the therapeutic intervention, the therapist or the counselor is I have given the answer how this can be used. This can be used, rather I can say it is already in the use in the by the counselors or therapists. Yes, now we have given this a name that it is a boosting of psychological immune system.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before winding up this today's wonderful session, I just want to ask in the last that through this conference, what will be your conclude message to whole the world and humanity? आप संपूर्ण मानवता और विश्व के लिए क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से?
Uh, So I can begin with that. This year's theme of World Mental Health Day was is mental health as a universal human right. So I can only give the message that since now since it is a human right as the many of the human rights. So and we know that it is as important or much more important than the physical health. So we have to talk about, we have to think about, and we have to develop the policies related to different kind of mental health. And the last is that sharing is caring. As much as you will share, the therapists or the counselors or those who are working in the field of mental health, they will care you. And also that since it is a universal human right, we can all together work for this as well.